Well, I'm a paediatric neurosurgeon. To be a paediatric neurosurgeon, you have to do general neurosurgery first. So I did general neurosurgery, and then I did a fellowship in paediatric neurosurgery in Dallas, Texas. It was when I was in Dallas, Texas that I was really exposed to DIPG, now of course known as DMG, diffuse midline glioma. The biggest challenge, I believe, is diagnosis. I get a lot of MRI scans sent to me from patients who have been diagnosed with DMG throughout the world. And without exaggeration, at least half of them are misdiagnosed. It happens because many of our leaders and forefathers have stated emphatically that the brainstem is a no-go zone. It's an area that's so eloquent and so sensitive that in fact you should never operate on any lesion within the brainstem. And hence when doctors see any lesion within the brainstem, they are very prone to call it inoperable and diffuse and label that patient thereafter as having an inoperable diffuse brainstem tumor. Hence, many children with operable, treatable tumors that aren't DMG are sent to their death. We have, and I'm guilty of it, all adopted a very nihilistic approach to DMG. All the patients in the past died, all the patients today die, and so you kind of think, well, it's a terrible disease, they're all going to die, no one's really specializing in it, there's no treatments. And so that collective, nihilistic, pessimistic, fatalistic approach is self-serving. The solution, of course, is very simple, and that is funding. And if we had funding into DMG, then you would attract the brilliant scientists, the good clinicians, the great statisticians. The whole field of research into DMG is changing pretty rapidly. Whereas people used to recommend no treatment at all and no surgery, not even biopsy, the whole world now is starting to think maybe we should biopsy these lesions and get a bit of a sample, and firstly, ensure that it is a DMG, and secondly, do some genetic and molecular testing on the sample to see if we can come up with some novel treatments. My career has always been based on treating patients like I would a member of my own family. And I've been widely vilified, criticized, maligned, persecuted for adopting that approach. So when I make a decision about Maddie, for example, I go, well, hang on, if that was my daughter and everyone's saying to me that she's going to be dead within a year, of course I'm going to want the most aggressive treatment, even if it's risky. And Alan wanted that, and I was very honest with him up front. I said, you know, I could kill her with my surgery, I could maim her, I could ruin her quality of life, it may be a total waste of time, but you know, I'm going to offer it to you if that's what you want, as long as you go in with your eyes wide open. But there are other people where the results aren't as good, and you do the surgery and you do maim them, and you do reduce their quality of life, and you don't buy them time. But surprisingly, most of those family members are happy as well. They're happy because they had empowerment. They had some say in the journey that they were on, and they, at the end of the day, they go, I'm glad we did that. Sure, it didn't turn out well, but if I hadn't done it, I would have always thought that, you know, maybe surgery would have helped. And so thankfully, even though I have as many bad outcomes as anyone else, if not more, hopefully most patients are, at the end of the day, are thankful, even if the results aren't good. Okay, so to families, one message: make as much noise as you can. Get out there, beat the drum, yell from the tallest mountain, and make sure that everyone knows that this is a terrible disease and no one is giving it any sort of attention. To doctors, drop the egos. Drop the egos, drop the power-mongering, drop the politics, drop the personality differences. Come on, we've got to get together. I have not been invited to speak at any DIPG, DMG meeting, never, because I had the gall to get up at several other general meetings in pediatric surgery, neurosurgery, and say, you know, you guys, you've got to get this right. And I gave them all these examples of patients on whom I operated, who did very, very well, but they were initially diagnosed as DMG. And so they don't want someone like me around, because it makes them go, oh, gee, maybe I did send that patient to their death and maybe something could have been done about it. You've got to collaborate, you've got to be on the same page. And finally, to governments, come on you guys, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's criminal. A great politician is a friend of mine, and he came to my office one day because I invited him. I said, listen, I've got to beat the drum for brain cancer patients. Can you come and listen to what I have to say? And at the end of the day, he goes, Charlie, I am so sorry, but politicians are all about staying in power. And given that brain cancer is a rare cancer and DMG is a rare type of brain cancer, funding DMG is not going to get us votes. When you look at brain cancer, it is the #1 killer of children. So it's killing our future. Surely that deserves more funding than it's currently getting. The template's been written. If you look at leukemia, so many children were dying of leukemia. And when I was a medical student, there was more children who died than were saved. Now it's the other way around. And how's that happened? Very simple. Raising awareness, raising funds, giving funds, and importance to the scientists. I strongly believe that the answer to brain cancer research may not be with the big universities, the ones who are getting all the funding, but from out-of-the-box thinkers, disruptive scientists who really have a great concept of trying to find the silver bullet. And they're often poorly funded. They often sit in their little labs which aren't well established, but they've got these great ideas. And we try and find those disruptive thinkers to try and accelerate the whole process of research.